Hello and welcome back to Direct Capital channel, and welcome to today's video update on Bitcoin. Well, very interesting things are going on in the crypto space right now. We've seen a massive breakout on Bitcoin's price action. It's broken past the ascending triangle top, it's broken past the red supply zone over here, and it's broken past, probably most importantly, 7,200, which is the 2-year moving average. And as you guys know, I've been speaking about the 2-year moving average. It's a very important indicator, a very important reference point for Bitcoin's price action, because it can actually really decide on what the trend is going forward. Just very basically looking at this price structure at the moment, the 2-year moving average, which is around 7,200, is being tested as a support in today's daily candle. And of course, we're also seeing some price compression against the green box. And I'm going to describe to you what this green box is right now. So I don't know if you guys remember the range from 7,700 to 9,300. The bottom of this range, so the range low, is around 7,700, and this has been a support before we got that major breakdown to around 7 or at least 3,800. So we got that breakdown from this range, and that really started that cascading acceleratory sell side pressure to new lows. So we need to remember that this area is going to be a potential resistance going forward, which is why we're already seeing this sort of doji candle forming between the 2-year moving average of 7,200 and this area, which has been a previous demand zone but now will be a new supply zone. And of course, the top of that supply zone is going to be 7,770, which was the range low from a few weeks ago. So that's something that we need to bear in mind going forward. And this just illustrates to you guys that this was a resistance before we actually broke past it and then actually tested this demand area as a new support and then rallied to new highs. But now we need to bear in mind that this is going to be a resistance going forward. But of course, if that resistance is breached and we test it into a new support, we'll see further trend continuation. But for the time being, this is going to be a resistance, and the top part of that resistance is 7,770, just like it was over here, and we got wicking price action every time to 7,770. Of course, we got a breakout over here, but we did see rejection from that level a few times before. But zooming out onto the weekly chart, we need to bear in mind that we haven't weekly closed above 7,200, which is an important reference point for price. And I'm going to talk about 7,200 as that 2-year moving average because it really is an important key level. But so far so good. We've bounced from the bottom of this market structure over here, the triangular market structure for Bitcoin. This is the next key level that we need a weekly close below. And of course, we are going to see some rejection here. It is very likely that we will see some rejection from a previous demand zone, and it might figure as a new supply zone. So we just need to bear that in mind when thinking about the weekly close this week, because if we get a weekly close above 7,200, that's going to be fantastic news, because it will now mean that we will be above 7,200, which has historically been a very good position for Bitcoin to be in. And I just want to very quickly cycle through some of the historical tendencies relative to the 2-year moving average, and this was something I spoke about in a previous video, but I want to quickly touch upon those very quickly in today's video, because we need to understand the tendencies that we tend to see relative to the 2-year moving average so that it can inform our future price action potentially. So as you guys know, in 2011, the 2-year moving average figured as a resistance before it actually turned into a support, had an initial rally towards the upside, pulled back to test that 2-year moving average as a support, and then started its bull market. Same situation, or at least a very similar situation, in 2015. We saw the 2-year moving average figure as a resistance, reject price, turn into a support, then enjoy a very limited initial rally, followed by a test of support before enjoying a new bull market. In 2019, we actually got a lot of consolidation below the 2-year moving average. We broke out from the wedge, and actually we broke out straight out from the 2-year moving average and started a nice rally towards the upside. And similar situation here, the 2-year moving average was a resistance for a while, but then we got a support test of the 2-year moving average and enjoyed a nice rally towards the upside. So essentially speaking, we are now at a point point where we are now pressing past the 2-year moving average of 7,200 at this point in time. And it's very important to bear in mind that we tend to see this 2-year moving average figure as a resistance, but it doesn't look like that's the case this time round. So what we need to bear in mind is that we might see an initial rally and then a pullback to 7,200 and to test that as a support. And once that happens, we might see a new bull market. This is at least what this indicator is telling us, and I don't want to get too bullish too quickly. I just want to keep it level-headed and just suggest to you guys what this indicator is telling us, because every time we've seen a break past the 2-year moving average, we've seen this period of accumulation end. This is an area of outsized return for Bitcoin, and every time we've seen that 2-year moving average become breached, we don't see a return into this area of outsized returns for Bitcoin. That's just the reality. Of course, I'd like to see another major low for Bitcoin. I'd like to get another chance to accumulate in an area of outsized returns for Bitcoin. But we have to bear in mind that if we see an initial rally and then we see a pullback to 7,200, we would need to see a breakdown from 7,200 for us to consider that major low, another major low for Bitcoin. So 7,200 is going to be a very important level going forward, because it's going to give us an idea as to what we can expect in terms of whether there's going to be another major low if we get that breakdown upon that pullback. But it's also going to be a very important level in giving us an idea as to whether we're going to see another bull market, because remember, an initial uptrend is followed by a pullback to around this level again to test it as a support, and then a potential new bull market. So we need to watch out for those signs going forward. But in any case, that's about it for my view for Bitcoin. I just want to quickly speak about altcoins here. We've been talking about this ascending triangle formation on altcoins, and just look at how long it took for altcoins to retrace and respect the top of the ascending triangle as a new support. And we're finally seeing some nice increases across the board for altcoins, and I'd just like to see trend continuation in terms of altcoin dominance going forward, because it looks like this ascending triangle top has been successfully retested, and we might see further increases in altcoin valuations going forward into the halving, which is only 35 days away as of now. And that's about it for today's market update. I hope you've enjoyed the video, guys. Thank you so much for watching today. Please consider dropping a like, and of course subscribe for more videos like this in the future. I'm Rex Capital, and I'll speak to you in the next one. Speak soon.